Hello everybody and welcome back to the Tarot Cottage. My name is Amy. I'm back today with a pick a card reading, and I just want to take a moment to thank my beautiful returning subscribers for being here and for being so kind to me in the comment section, so kind to each other as well. If you do see someone in the comment section that's not being very kind, try to notify me and I'll try to take care of it, because I do try to keep this a space of light and love and optimism, a support system for people who are struggling, because we're all here to walk each other home, aren't we? If you have found yourself here for the very first time, please join us. Welcome. Pull up a chair, grab yourself some snacks, get cozy, and we'll have a little chat, because we're all friends when we gather at my table. I do pick a card readings on this channel, and today's pick a card reading, we're looking at the person on your mind and what were they thinking the last time that they saw you. So we're going to look into the scenario of what was going on and what were they thinking that last time. What did they wish they could have said to you? We have 3 piles for you today to choose from. We have pile number 1 here with the Tiny Triumphs card and this piece of coal. Pile number 2 with the Can You Hear Me card and this piece of Desert Rose. And pile number 3 with the New Directions card and this piece of citrine. So whichever pile or piles are calling out to you, there may be a message waiting for you today from Spirit, and my timestamps are below in the description box. I can't say the word because of my braces. My timestamps are below. I'm going to jump right into pile number 1 today. Again, the person on your mind, what were they thinking the last time that they saw you? Pile 1. Hello everybody, in pile number 1 you were drawn to this piece of coal, or perhaps, and it's kind of interesting, you know, we're around Christmas time. This belonged to my grandpa. He worked in a coal mine years and years and years ago. Or to the Tiny Triumphs card, and this is your reading. The person on your mind, what were they thinking the last time that they saw you? This card talks about sort of a switch in position. So the predator becomes the prey, tiny triumphs that occurred. So this person, the last time that they saw you, they may have been looking really good, or they may have sort of felt like in your perception of things, everything looked good for them, or like they were happy with the scenario, or they were happy with how they were looking or how they were presenting themselves. There could have even been like a smugness to what you perceived or what they assume you perceived about that interchange here, because it's like they felt like they had the upper hand perhaps in that interchange or in that experience. But let's take a look here and see. So let's start with the scenario. What was going on the last time that they saw you? And then we'll look into their feelings. What were they thinking and feeling in that moment? What was the scenario, Spirit, for pile 1? Always remember, I'm dealing with collective energy, so if this reading doesn't resonate with you, you can try a different reading or a different pile. What was the scenario for pile 1, please? We have the 9 of Cups. I almost feel like this person, the last time that they saw you, I don't feel like there perhaps wasn't an actual conversation or anything that went on. I feel like you may have seen them with someone else at that time. For someone watching, they may have been in the company of others, which added to their sense of, I don't want to use a word like smugness, but that's what's coming out. If I'm honest, there is a smugness energy coming out. It sort of added to that moment of smugness. It's like, well, you know, it's like they weren't sure if you were aware of their situation. If they have moved on into a third party situation, they weren't sure if you were aware of that. And there was a little bit of a smugness that comes in with their energy here. And I don't feel it's because they have no interest in you. I feel quite the opposite. I feel like it's almost like this attempt of like happiness perhaps of making you jealous. And I don't like to say that, but that's what's coming out. We have here the 2 of Wands. Back of the deck is the Knight of Wands here. I do feel like, the scenario that played out before them was almost kind of like a dream come true for them. It's like they were in a position where they felt they looked good. They were perhaps in the company of other people that gave them sort of almost a buffer type of comfort or confidence a little bit. Because they were in the the company of other people, it's like they knew that they were safe from any approach. Not that they wouldn't necessarily want an approach, but they wouldn't be able to maintain a position of calm or cool if you had approached them. Eight of Wands. I do feel like they sort of really wish that they could have spoken to you though during this interchange, and they may have seen you from afar. And I feel like they really felt drawn to go towards you, but because of the company that they were keeping at that moment, it really did stop. But what it did sort of do was reignite. As much as they felt like they had gotten the upper hand in that moment, it reignited an insecurity inside of themselves. They're sort of masking it. You can see the crow is wearing a mask because they're embodying all of this smug energy here, because like, oh, I looked good. They saw me with this person, so they know that I'm not stuck on them, and like all of these. But to be honest, I feel like they still are kind of stuck on you. This Nine of Cups is talking about a wish, a desire, something that I want to bring into completion, unfinished business with you, and they still feel that. It ignited something else inside of them. But they definitely wore masks during the, I think they acted unbothered when it actually ignited a hope. You can even see in the Three of Wands, a star, almost looks like the Star of Bethlehem. But it's hovering over these mountaintops, which it really talks about challenges and obstacles that may be in place, and it could be a third party for some. How did they feel the last time? Queen of Pentacles. They did think that you looked really good. So if they looked great, but they also said, you know, you were looking really, really good as well. And truthfully, they were wearing masks about how they feel. And if you are the Divine Feminine asking the question today of Spirit, it really sort of, it's the Divine Masculine energy that's coming forward here in this reading. It is interchangeable though. It's all about energy. But the King of Cups was submerging their emotion, and you did knock them off balance with that emotion. They hid it well. But it didn't just ignite a spark. It didn't just ignite a spark of like fuel, of fire, of desire. It like, we have the King of Cups. Like, that's emotional connection. The truth is that this person is still very emotionally invested in you. They acted unbothered, but it was a very emotional moment for them. But it also sparked something new. Here's the Six of Swords. We have the Fool. It sparked something new for them. This Fool energy, you can see this, it's like a change in the wind. There's a momentum that's been created because of that event. And it's a desire in them to expand here, to plan something out that will lead us to new beginnings, that will lead us to reunions. The Six of Swords is talking about how things were not said between the two of you. We were not able to express how we truly felt. We had to restrict. But now it's like, since that day, they've had moments where they know exactly what they would have said if the scenario had been slightly different, if they had been alone, if they had the courage to walk and approach you and take the masks off. Because sometimes this devil doesn't represent a third party, but it represents more of an insecurity that comes in. I only say third party because I do feel like some of the challenges here are pretty practical and solid, you know, over top of that star energy. But you ignited something else in them. Let's take a look and see what some of their current feelings were during that moment. How are they feeling? I'm going to take these ones down. How did they feel the last time that they saw the Empress coming out with the King of Swords? And on the floor, the Nine of Cups is in the reverse position. So acting like they had the upper hand, perhaps feeling for a moment that they had the upper hand. And really, oops, we have a bit of an explosion here. Queen of Swords. And it's like they're in separation, these two energies. These and Page of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles coming out for the Page of Swords. Back of the deck is the Hierophant. For someone watching, this person could have been at work perhaps, or in a position where they weren't able to come and approach you. Like I said, they may not have been in the company of other people, or some of that company could have been work related, but there could have also been a partner perhaps with them as well. So please take that as it resonates to your situation. This Nine of Cups reverse is a real dissatisfaction with the outcomes. Like they felt like they had the upper hand, and in that moment that may have bolstered their confidence in that moment, but ultimately they didn't actually gain anything. And I feel like that's really frustrating to them. It's like they wanted more results than what they actually ended up getting. Better results, faster results. They wanted to approach you. They wanted to speak to you. But they couldn't. Their position wouldn't allow them. What did they feel, please? The Eight of Cups. It really thrust them into the moment in the past when you walked away. And it made them hungry for change. It made them hungry for more. I'm just looking at these apples in her basket. And as much as they perhaps maintained that air of, I'm solid, I'm fine, I'm clear-headed. The King of Swords is very stoic oftentimes. The truth here is kind of despair. And see in this painting that this poor sheep is imploring the angel for help to save her little lamb. And the buzzards are around her, the crows are around there waiting for their next opportunity. And she's imploring this angel for help, but there's nothing the angel can do. And so it's like they weren't able to speak their truth and they had to suppress it. It led them to like a sadness that they had to hide. The Queen of Wands. I do sort of feel like it's spurred by, and I don't want to say it's spurred by how you looked, but you looked great in that moment. In their opinion, you looked great. They're also very intimidated by you. Here's the Ten of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles represents an institution that may have been built up, perhaps, or a foundation that has been built up to a very strong form for you, for this person. There, like I said, this person could be married. There could be children involved as well. That could have been a part of the dynamic of the meeting. I'm not necessarily feeling that there were children involved in the actual moment where they saw you last. We have the High Priestess and we have the King of Cups, and that showed up again for you. That was the truth of how they felt in that moment. They had to suppress it. They had to keep it pushed down. But the truth is that you filled them with like an emotional gut punch or something. It's like knocked the wind out of them. They are really good and adept at perhaps acting cool and collected, but you knocked the literal wind out of them. You filled them with a little bit of hopelessness. It's almost like the sense of stopping traffic. It's like stopping traffic, but not in a great way. It like feels sad. It feels rife with emotion. Even this King of Cups, it's like a complacency, but it's not a happy one. They really felt like they had blinders on, and they really wish they could have spoken to you in that moment. So let's see what some of their thoughts were going through their mind. We'll pull out some message cards today. What were their thoughts going through their mind the last time that they saw group one, please? They were instantly feeling very amorous towards you. I could be your hero, baby. That's the Six of Wands, too. There's this sense of feigning confidence. Feigning confidence, trying to act victorious in that moment. Hoping that you wouldn't be able to see through some of it to see the truth of how they were feeling. There's a devastation. It's like, is this over? It's almost like it sort of solidified, that moment solidified that everything that all the mistakes they made, or all the choices they made in your connection were wrong. Here's the You Are Wrong card. But it almost solidified in that moment that there's not much that can be done, or they don't feel like there's much that can be done. That's a perception. I meant what I said. It's like if I had gone towards you and if I had spoken to you in that moment, it would have created chaos for me. And that's my big concern. It may have created chaos for you too. We have the Seven of Pentacles reversed, weight. Back of the deck says, I'm secretly obsessed with you. And we had that Devil come out, Capricorn energy, in the beginning of your reading. You did thrust them into some insecurity in that moment, and they did feel restricted from being able to speak to you. The Seven of Pentacles reversed is really talking about giving up too soon. It's like I realized in that moment, did I give up too soon? Did I give in with no reward in the past of this connection? It's like I may feel victorious in this moment, but ultimately it's kind of like winning a battle but not winning a war. They may have felt like they had the upper hand in that experience, but they didn't win the war, and they recognize that they are actually the ones at the deficit here in their perception, because they don't quite know what your perception of that moment was. What were they thinking the last time they saw group 1, please? I have some on the floor. I didn't mean to love you. I can't help it. And I'm curious about you. You sparked something. I have been deceitful when it comes to their energy and how they feel about you. What were they thinking the last time they saw? Sleepless nights. I don't want to say something as dramatic as, you know, they haven't had a good night's sleep since, because that seems very dramatic, but that's the thought that came to my mind, so I have to say it. Do you ever think about us? Did that moment affect you as much as this person says that it affected them? Because Spirit says you're on mirrored soul paths, so you may both have an experience where you've built up some type of foundation. They may feel like they're the only ones suffering here, and that's why that smugness comes in, because it's like even when you get caught in a lie and it's like your ego won't allow you to admit it. You know that everyone knows you're lying, but it's still that ego that won't let you relent. This stresses me out. That moment stressed them out because I don't feel like they were alone, and I am scared of unavoidable change with you. But I wish I could start fresh. And they dream about that. Whoops. Nothing brings me peace. We also have, but it's over, isn't it? It really gave them this sense of finality with that 10 of Swords here. They also wrote here on the back of the deck, you're all grown up now. You're all grown up. So this may have been sort of a very big surprise for them about how you have evolved. And what type of abundance you have evolved into. It's like it could be a very sort of va-va-boom type of energy that they recognized in you, that you've grown, you've matured. And that's something that they wish they could explore with you further. What were they thinking the last time that they saw pile number 1, please? Winter's end, regeneration, rebirth, and positive outcome. You may have sort of spurred an intent inside this person to reveal themselves or to work on a plan with the 8 of Pentacles in the future position, to work on a plan. The 7 of Pentacles reversed is talking about waiting and about impatience. They may be chomping at the bit to kind of give you the truth here because they are hoping for evolution. They're worried that it's over, though. I keep going back because the 10 of Swords did come out. So there is a definite emotional destitution associated with that, of finality, of the need to revisit our plans, our actions in this connection. But I don't feel like they'll ever stop caring. Eternal love, back of deck, happiness, harmony, and fulfillment. Let's get a charm bowl for you, pile number 1. Pile number 1, please, in the bowl. How did they feel? What were their secret thoughts the last time they saw pile number 1? We have the Queen of Wands. They thought that you looked amazing, but that's also intimidating to them. It's like the better you looked, the more it highlights their own deficits in themselves. They were a little bit intimidated by you in the moment, so I feel like they really acted in kind. It's like if they felt insecure, so they may have even acted rude or acted like they ignored you or didn't see you. I just feel like a real restriction from this King of Swords, and it was a reflection of their devastation that they weren't able to outwardly show ultimately, as to why they perhaps weren't kind to you, or maybe they were a little cold to you. Even in some examples, they may have been a little bit cold to you, which may have flared you up a little bit and made you feel a little bit insecure and made you act in kind, because we have the Queen of Swords here. So there's a sense of like two people playing off each other's emotions, and neither one of those emotions were very positive because it was filled with this sadness. All right, in the bowl today we have the letter W and the letter H and the letter R. These may be initials for you or this person. We have Pisces energy, and we also have the World Marble. Unfinished business here. But it's like we were waiting for this moment. It's like somebody in this connection was waiting for this opportunity, and then it came, and it didn't play out the way we had envisioned or fantasized. We have the whale tail going with the flow. We have the hatchet, needing to sever ourselves from negative attachments, from anything that holds us back. We have the dog paw. We also have the wing, looking at things from a higher perspective and wishing to take this higher. We have the Two of Cups too. Two of Cups with the Two of Hearts in the bowl. That is what I have for you today, pile number 1. I hope that it resonated with you, and if it did, I would love to hear your story down below. If you do send me a comment below, please be sure to hit your notification bell so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me, and I can actually connect with you after you are chosen, because that's been a bit of a challenge with me choosing my winners here. If your notification bell isn't turned on and I choose your comment, I do reply to that comment with instructions. So be sure to check your comments if you have not hit your notification bell, and be sure to hit your notification bell if you would like to be entered in for the free reading. I also offer a chance to win a free mini read over on Instagram, and I offer private readings through my Etsy account, and both links are below. But I hope that you come back here, as I always say, to the Tarot Cottage, and I hope that you have a very beautiful day. Hello everybody. In pile number 2, you were drawn perhaps to the Desert Rose. I'll place that right there. Or you were drawn to the Can You Hear Me card, and this is your reading. The person on your mind, what were they thinking the last time that they saw you? And the Can You Hear Me card really talks about loneliness and isolation, and sort of waiting for an opportunity to speak and never getting it. Perhaps you can see she's waiting with her hand on her hip. Her body is this shell which holds a lot of information and secrets, and it's kind of holding her in place here. I feel like this person may have seen you from afar, but you may not have even noticed them. So the moment where you think that this person may have saw you, or the last time they saw you, there may actually be like a separate event that this person is aware of where they've seen you from afar and were not able to speak to you, because there's an isolation, there's a sadness about this card, about a missed opportunity or missed chance. You can see her hand is on the Kong. She wants to be able to speak out and call out when her opportunity presents itself, but there's a lot of energy of like being dismissed or being overlooked, and not a purposeful type of dismissal rather, but just perhaps you didn't notice them, or they noticed you from afar in some type of way. So let's take a look here and see. We're going to look at what happened the last time that they saw you, and then we're going to look at their feelings. How are they feeling? We will, of course, pull some message cards and do a charm cast at the end. But what was going on, Spirit? Let's start there. What was going on when they saw pile 2 last? We have the Justice. We have the Queen of Cups. We have the Six of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles. And the Queen of Swords. It's being coupled with a few other cards though. The Lovers, the Five of Cups, the Ten of Wands. There's a lot of energy here of feeling like they weren't able to communicate with you during this experience, that they were having to sort of maintain some type of watcher position with your connection. Even here, the Justice card, you can see there's a key. It says Pandora's box, and there's just lock that this cat is sitting upon. It's like there's so many secrets this person wants to reveal to you. There's so many things that they feel that they have to get off of their chest when it comes to their feelings for you. And it really feels kind of like a permanent love, if I'm honest. Like it feels like they have made their mind up about you, and that's it. They care about you, they love you, and they wish that it could be reciprocated, but it wasn't reciprocated in that moment for them, or they didn't feel like it was reciprocated in that moment. You can see the wolves here howling at the moon. The Page of Pentacles is supposed to be a great opportunity to new pathways, to new chances, but in this case it's like the insecurity overwhelmed us. Perhaps they didn't come forward to make themselves known here, and then there's this Queen of Swords at the end. She is sort of a colder energy. She's an intimidation type of energy. And that may be what sort of held them at bay, was that fear of approaching you. Back of the deck is the Knight of Cups. So it wasn't that you ignored them outrightly or purposefully. It's the fact that they didn't take advantage of this opportunity. And I do feel like they're past the buck a little bit when they rethink and they go back to that moment. They may sort of come up with excuses as why they couldn't approach you, but because there's almost an annoyance with the situation. But I feel like the annoyance should be directed at themselves and not at you at this time. But let's take a look at their feelings. Let's see, how was this person feeling for you in that moment? How did they feel? Two of Wands. How were they feeling the last time that they saw? We have the Judgment card. Oh, there's a lot. The Judgment coming out with the Ten of Swords, with the Lover's energy as well. So we're going to keep those because that's pretty powerful. And I feel like, especially with the Ten of Swords in the center position here, it really speaks to the devastation that they were feeling about not feeling seen or not getting a chance to speak up. They felt very isolated. There's a loneliness too. But they were the ones who held the key. You can see the Divine Masculine looking up at that key. They kept themselves at bay. They kept themselves hidden here. And I do feel like there's a certain aspect of that too when it comes to their energy towards you. It's like you are a mystery. And I think that their insecurity has always kept them in this position with you. Six of Cups. Back of the deck is the Seven of Swords. On the back of this casket, it says hope and reflection. In that moment, it sparked a hope for new beginnings, I feel. It sparked something for them. It sparked a desire for reunions, of course. And they put a lot of rose-colored glasses on when they think about you. They think about the past quite a bit when it comes to you. And I feel like they have had many opportunities to reflect upon past opportunities or missed chances, because they have let opportunities like this slip through their fingers before as well. That's why there was that message coming through for someone, that your perception of when the last time the two of you saw each other is not the last time that they actually saw you, because you never noticed that they were there or that they were watching. Or let's clarify the Two of Wands. How were they feeling the last time they saw pile two, please? Nine of Wands. Frustrated. So close to you. It's like proximity wise, so close to you, yet you could be a million miles away in their opinion, because it's like they couldn't get to you somehow. And there's almost a work connection for someone. So you may have been at work, or they may have been at work. And in fact, I just got an image of a vehicle. So there may have been even like, I don't know if there's like buses or something. If somebody's a bus driver, I know that sounds weird and random, but it's like they saw you in passing. It's like they couldn't get to you. You were so close, but there's just no way that the two of you could have even communicated. And what they really felt in that moment was the strongest urge ever to reunite, to come. It's like in that moment too, it's like their heart skipped a beat with the Three of Cups, because I just heard celebration. And like this card is not a card of celebration, but in that moment, it was like, oh, it's like my heart jumped up into my throat. It's like I never expected to see you in that moment. I hoped I would perhaps, but I never expected to see you in that moment. I do feel like they had to keep that reaction to themselves, because perhaps they were the ones working. I feel like it might have been the masculine here that was working at the time of them seeing you. It definitely wasn't expected. They didn't go to any sort of place expecting to see you. It wasn't some sort of like an attempt to plan the meeting. It wasn't expected. So it caught them off guard. Nine of Cups. Oh. We have the Six of Wands with the Queen of Pentacles. And when they, again, there is a very strong work connection here too as well, here with the Eight of Pentacles underneath that Queen. The Six of Wands is really talking about how ultimately their thought process when it comes to the two of you and your connection is one of victory. They want victory with you. That's what their ultimate goal would always be. But it does reflect on masks being worn and positions that we were holding during that point of contact. So your position didn't allow for communication in that moment. Their position didn't allow in that moment for communication. They felt really sort of overlooked in that moment too. Because again, I keep going back to the isolation, the loneliness, the longing even. There's a lot of longing and wishes. And here is the Nine of Cups coming out for you. It's like with the nines here, there's just a sense of like, we're so close. It's like they're so close before we could potentially have celebration, or so close to giving up. It's like two ends of a spectrum here. It's like, do I have the power? I'm still holding on after all of this time. I can't help myself. Do I have the power to see this through to the end? Do I have the stamina to see this through to the end? Do I have the patience required? Because they really feel like there is something divinely connecting the two of you. They really, really do. And the thought of this being a permanent isolation from you is devastating to this person. It's devastating. You can even see here with the Ten of Swords, it's like they feel drawn to you like a moth. They can't help it. Even if it's not benefiting them right now, they feel drawn to you. And this wasp end is like, you can see right over top, I don't know if you can notice, the right over top of the wasp end is a tiny, tiny skull. It's like if someone were to sort of drop the gavel and say it's over, the reality and the grief that would set in would hurt a lot here. And that may even be the case. That may be the case here. It may be sort of a situation that doesn't have a lot of movement going forward, because this person is the key and they are one who, you know, they're waiting. They're waiting for the opportunity that's going to be perfect, perhaps. Waiting for an opportunity that's just going to bloom in front of them, that holds perfection and an easy route. But unfortunately, sometimes there are people that will always fall back to the comfort zones, or always go to the path of least resistance. And so there's a fear here. There's a fear with this person that they may never get to completion here with you. They don't want to lose hope. They don't want to give in to that reality, though. They don't want to give in to that reality. Let's get some message cards from this person. What were they thinking the last time that they saw pile number 2, please? I know I've been right. I'm trying to forgive myself. Forgive themselves for things in the past, for repeating past mistakes, for not having the strength or the courage to make reunions happen when they had the opportunity in the past. Because I feel like there was opportunities for new beginnings, or there was doorways that opened here that they didn't take advantage of. I've fantasized or thought about living together. What were they thinking the last time that they saw you? I don't want to be with anyone else. It's like you hold the key to their heart. You hold their heart. It's like they swallowed their key. We have the thought of explaining myself and apologizing scares me. I don't want to see the pain I've caused in your eyes. And they're asking for forgiveness here too. And that could be part of their hesitation, is they don't really want to face this Queen of Swords. They could be worried about what is going to be their reception. Perhaps things didn't end in a very positive note for you. Or they assume that you're not too happy with them. I have been telepathically communicating with you because they didn't get the opportunity to speak with you at that moment. So all of the things that they wish they had said, all of the things that they thought about in that moment, they've spoken out loud to themselves, hoping to sort of connect with you in some sort of intrinsic way. It says, I acted happy, but I'm not. I was wearing a mask. I was playing a role in that moment. How are they feeling the last time they saw pile 2, please? You have made me so happy. The attraction is undeniable. And as I said, we have the 3 of Cups with this instantaneous of like it's happiness in that moment to see you. It's like they were shocked. It's like they'd seen a ghost for a moment. And I feel like there was like an internal reaction too, like their heart started to pound, and that's why their attraction to you was undeniable. It's like, obviously I have a physical response to you. It's not just about the physical, but it is undeniable. I'm sorry, my throat is closing up. We have, I remember every detail of you. Are you mad at me? So they are worried that they have an apology to bring forth. And they're avoiding that too. I don't want to say that this person is the type to sort of take the easy road all the time, but I feel like in the past they may have. It's like passing the buck perhaps for fault, which is why they're sort of sitting here impatiently with their hand on their hip, hoping that you would notice them and you would make the move towards them so they wouldn't have to be put in that position, in that this uncomfortable position. I want to see you so badly. And I feel like that was sort of why they celebrated in that moment for that second when they had that guttural reaction to you, because it's like they felt like they had conjured you up somehow. Like they have been rampantly thinking about you, that they must have conjured you up. I think about you, about that last day a lot. They still think about that last day a lot. And their attraction is way more than physical. Back of the deck says, we look good together. I'm going to pull one of these black cards too for what they were thinking. And this message isn't for everyone that's coming through, but there is this message coming through that this person may have had like very, I don't want to say selfish tendencies, but that's what I'm hearing, is like even a narcissistic type of tendencies in the past of your connection, which led to the disconnect perhaps. So take that as it resonates. That is not for everyone. It's for someone very specific, but if it's for you, you know that it is. We have here the snake. Competition, enemy, clever, malicious, looking over your shoulder, the other woman. And it's like, I don't want to say paranoia, or in the past, that could be what they're apologizing for, is like accusations that were fruitless. We have kisses, unconditionally loving, giving and receiving affection, falling in love. It's like, it almost feels like love bombing a little bit. Lightning, sudden change, shocking events, upheaval, transformation. And the last time that they saw you, again, I feel like it came out of the blue. They weren't expecting it. They didn't plan it. It did take them completely off guard. For a moment, they were really happy about it. But then I think it didn't match their expectations of what the fantasy kind of fed into it, so they got disappointed very quickly. Let's get a charm bowl for you, group number 2. The last time this person saw you, what do they wish that they could have told you in the bowl? It's hard to shuffle these inside of a teacup. Okay, so we have the Ten of Pentacles reversed, the Judgment reversed, and the Six of Swords reversed. Oh my goodness. They would tell you they can't move on. It's like, I can't move on. I can't build up anything for myself since we broke up. I feel like I've lost every potential that I've ever had. This Ten of Pentacles is reversed, which is talking about all of the loneliness and sadness that they're feeling. It's like, I'm so lonely. I'm so lost without you. I cannot move forward. I was not thinking clearly in the past of our connection. It's like, it feels like love bombing, or it feels like someone on their knees groveling is what it feels like. That's what they wish that they could have said, or what they wanted to say perhaps, or what they should have said, especially if there are instances in your connection where they do have to come forward with an apology. But they're just trying to say, I'm stuck in a rut. I didn't see things. I didn't see what was sitting right in front of my face. And I feel like they could have even been afraid of commitment in the past, this person. Because it's like, I fear change. I fear change innately. I'm just scared of change, and I'm scared of conflict, and I'm scared of how much I fall for you. There's so much like energy of like, I can't move forward here, and I'm so lonely for you. It really matches the energy of that Can You Hear Me card quite perfectly, actually. In the bowl today we have the letter H. We also have 2 Acorns here connected, which is soulmate energy for me. Acorns are a symbol of potential. Planted at the right time in the right conditions, they can thrive and build into something so profound and huge. And that's really what this person really hopes for. They still see potential here. There's a little wrench in the plans. We have friend. We have a guitar as well. We have the dragonfly as well, which is talking about the desire for transformation, being really hungry for it too. Like this person is still really attached. This person is still holding on. They're still, I feel like they would try again in a heartbeat. We have the Three of Swords. Three of Swords is talking about deep sadness, deep loss, deep heartbreak. You could have experienced a third-party situation with this person in the past. That's not for everyone, but please take that as it resonates to your situation. We have live, laugh, and love. It's like someone who claims to have learned their lessons in life. And we have here, thou shalt not kill. It's like, please don't take away the hope that I have in this situation. And we have this rune as well, which is the Dagaz Dawn rune, which is a rune that talks about insights and breakthroughs. They claim to have had epiphanies, perhaps, about your connection. All right, pile number 2, that's what I have for you today. I hope that it resonated with your situation. And if it did, sorry, my throat is closing. If it did, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel and hit your notification bell and drop me a comment below so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me. You can also check out my Instagram account as well and my Etsy shop for a personal reading below. But I hope that you come back here for another day at the Tarot Cottage for a visit, and I hope that you have a beautiful day. Take care. Hello everybody, in pile number 3, you were drawn to this beautiful piece of citrine, and this is your reading. You were also drawn to the New Directions card, the person on your mind. What were they thinking the last time that they saw you? In this New Directions card, it does talk about wishes. It does talk about new directions into new perspectives as well. It talks about goodbyes as well. It's like, it illustrates endings and departures that are necessary to gain new perspectives in life, and about the courage that it takes to take those new directives as well. So this could be a very sort of difficult realization or epiphany that this person has sort of come to through that experience, but we'll take a look at the tarot and see. First, we're going to search into what were they experiencing, what was going on during this last meeting, the last time that they saw you, and then we're going to look into their feelings as well. So what was going on the last time that group 3's person saw them? What's going on the last time? What's happening? We have the Knight of Swords. We have the Four of Swords. We have the King of Swords with the Seven of Coins. There's a lot of logic coming through. There's a lot of like air energy coming through here. Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. The Page of Wands. And we have the Six of Cups as well. Back of the deck is the Lovers, which is ruled by Gemini, so this person could be a Gemini, but it also talks about reflections. I do feel like there could have been an actual meeting here. I feel like there could have been a conversation that was had amidst this meeting as well, because it showcases that something was said and then there was this reflection after the fact. So I do feel like it's perhaps it even, and I'm going to clarify that card, but it could have sort of happened rashly, or maybe somebody burst and just spoke their truth. They took advantage of an opportunity. Somebody did, and they spoke up. We have the Ten of Coins. And we have the Hanged Man. I do feel like there could, and here's the Page of Swords as well. Page of Swords is talking about gaining information. He is the student of the deck, and so he is the energy that brings in all of the information and then uses it to clarify other situations, to educate themselves about it, to have the tools to reflect with. So I feel like there could have been a conversation that was had here the last time that they saw you. And I feel like they had spent some time delving into thought about that and delving into everything that was said and all of the emotions that rose out of it. And there's definitely a sense of new beginnings or surrendering to the flow after that point as well. The Two of Coins. And if I'm honest, there is this energy that this conversation may have happened because there was still wishful thinking about reunions in this connection. There was still this hope for new starts, new emotional beginnings. And I feel like this conversation did clarify some positions. And I feel like someone in this connection does have a very solid foundation that they are a party to, and that they're still leaving a light on. They're still leaving the hope, or there is still the hope for this connection to come to fruition. But the conversations or whatever happened the last time that they seen you sort of clarified for them that they should push forward. They should push forward to new beginnings. That perhaps you may have, maybe you let them know that you weren't in the position or you didn't have the space to enter into any type of new reunion with them. Perhaps they came to the realization that it was sort of naive or wishful thinking to hope that there could be something more here. At any rate, and because I do feel like there could be a family unit, that's why I keep skirting around this. There could be some type of commitment in place for someone in this connection. And because of the practicalities, it's like the logical nature of this connection and where it stands right this moment is that the timing is not ours. And the timing could be very, very delayed. And so they sort of entered into this state of surrender. And I feel like it's a difficult thing for them to release as well. I think that they almost have to gear themselves up for it. It's almost like they have to, it's like ripping a Band-Aid off. It's like they have to convince themselves now's the time to do it, because it's hard for them, because they did put a lot of emotional eggs in that basket. They did have a lot of hopes there. And so to trek down a new path and to forge a new path for themselves or a new plan for themselves, I feel like it was a big sacrifice, because they do feel really connected to you in a very intrinsic way. They do feel like there is a very special component of this connection, that the two of you may be soulmates, perhaps even if you subscribe to that. The Wheel of Fortune is talking about destiny, though, and wanting to get the balls in motion and wanting to get a rebirth started. It's like they're tired of waiting. We do have the Three of Wands and the Ace of Swords. So the last time that they saw you really clarified for them and really solidified for them the need to move forward. So if there was no actual communication, I do feel like there could have been clarity, though, vocal clarity. They may have seen you a party, like immersed in this life. They may have seen you immersed in that life, and they may, in that moment, like a light went off. It's like, now is not the time for us. I feel that connection. You can see here the snake is in this this type of yin-yang energy, and they feel that connection. They feel the power behind it, and they have to tame all of those feelings in order to accomplish this goal. It's not easy, and that's not the way that Spirit wants to present it, of that it's being an easy sort of release, because it's not. It feels very difficult for them, in fact. Let's delve a little deeper into their feelings. When the last time that they saw you, what were they feeling? What were they thinking? We have here the Judgment reversed. And the rabbit is a symbol of the Page of Wands, leaping towards you, and they felt like they could not. It's like there was a realization, an epiphany that came in, that someone's not prepared to create the type of change that's necessary in this connection. And they fear that. And they fear creating that type of havoc. They also are really acknowledging, how they're feeling in that moment was this sense of like, I made such big mistakes. And I'm learning the lesson. It's a hard lesson to learn. It's kind of a bittersweet type of lesson to learn. I made so many mistakes, because it was actually their fear of change that stopped them perhaps from pursuing this wholly in the past and creating a relationship with you. Because there is a very strong soulmate friend vibe coming through with the Six of Cups as well. It's like, but it feels unfinished. It feels like it never moved The Five of Pentacles. It's like some truths you just can't unsee, and that's what this person, they feel cast out. And they don't like to feel cast out. They don't like to feel separated from something profound like your connection. And so it's like choosing to bow out gracefully amidst some type of foundation that's securely in place. And there could even be children here, so take that as it resonates to your situation. But it's like this person's choosing to bow out gracefully. And again, it almost makes me feel sick to my stomach to say that, because I feel like it's hard for this person to do it. They don't want to. But it's like they have integrity, or they want to have integrity. They want that to be this is like a reflection of that. It's like, this is how I prove it. This is how I prove my integrity. We have here the Wheel of Fortune. They feel like it'll be a very difficult thing to remove themselves from this. And that's another thought that they had the last time that they saw you, is how difficult it will be to detach. And I don't think they even know how to get off that wheel. You can see how the rabbit's being chased by Alice. It's like, I don't even know how to get off this ride. I know that I should, but I'm trying to figure it out. Here's the Page of Swords. They really are reflecting too upon all the lessons that the two of you, that you have actually afforded them, all of the lessons that they have learned because of this connection, even in disconnect. And I feel like there's a very strong school element here too, so you may have known this person in school. We have the High Priestess. It almost feels like they know that moving forward is the only way they can ascend. And sometimes these really deep connections, that's exactly what they represent, is an energy that forces us to the precipice of change. Difficult decisions are made within these types of connections. Hard decisions, hard leaps. Hard releases, very difficult when we make new directions here, because we've put so much wish and hope and desire into this. This is a dandelion plume. We've put all of our, and perhaps, again, you know, who blows onto dandelions in the wind? Little children. I feel like there's a deep history here with this person. And there's a lot of poor mistakes, not poor mistakes, poor decisions or poor choices made in the past of this connection as well. The King of Swords. Humpty Dumpty is sitting on the wall. And it's like, to avoid another great fall, he's got to be clear. He's got to be stable. He's got to think logically. Because it's almost like, I don't want to be given hope just to have it yanked away, because they already put a lot of hope into this situation in the past, and it didn't serve them. I feel like they did keep their feelings for you suppressed in the past of this connection as well. You have the Three of Pentacles. This energy with the Three of Pentacles supporting the Five of Pentacles is sort of solidifying this theme of a foundation deeply rooted in place that does cause the disconnect. So please take that as it resonates to your situation. I just saw the Page of Wands again. What were they thinking and feeling the last time they saw pile 3? King of Wands. They're still they can't help themselves but be drawn to you. It's more than physical. It is physical, but it's more than that though. They can't help but be drawn to you. You represent excitement and unknown roads and unknown pathways. And especially if you met this person in youth, there's a sense of ascension. There's a sense of growth and maturation that's happened as well with this King of Wands. But it's like, I've grown, I've matured, but my feelings for you, that spark is still ignited. It hasn't gone anywhere. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's kind of like just the sparkler going. And they feel helpless. They're like, I have no other choice but to just go with the flow here and just to release, because I don't feel like I'm capable, or there's room for powerful change. We have the Moon. Back of the deck is the Seven of Pentacles. And we have the Three of Cups reversed on the back of the deck. They feel like very one-sided here too. That's the other worry that comes through with this person, is they fear that it's very one-sided. And even in this card, it's interesting because the Seven of Pentacles, you can see the page here is painting the roses red. These white roses of hope, they're painting their roses red now. It's like, I need to forge a new path. I need to start a new spark somewhere because my hope, I need to cover that up because I don't feel like I have a position. I don't feel like there's support here for me. I'm worried. And there's also this fear too of gossip, worrying about the gossip of other people that keeps us imprisoned, worrying about other people's opinions, worried about other people's opinions about our integrity even. Because this person really came through with a lot of integrity, or they wanted to be seen as someone with integrity. Their position means a lot to them, this Emperor. And I feel like it's not so much their position as far as foundations. It may be, it can be reversed, of course, but it's more so this position with you. It's like, I don't want to show weakness to you. I've never shown that. They've never been vulnerable. And they don't want to show you that weakness because it would highlight all of their insecurities. And then they have to face that truth within themselves, that they didn't act when they could have acted. And they are internally still kicking themselves, though. Let's get some message cards from this person about what they were thinking in that moment, the last time that they saw you. What were they thinking about pile 3 the last time that they saw them? If I called you, would you answer? The Judgment card. The purpose of that reflection, I say a lot, is to create new beginnings. It's in the recent past position, though, which talks about the unfinished business, and even unfinished business towards creating that new beginning. It's like we never got off the ground, and we should have. And I want to get that back. I want to get back what we had. I wish I could turn back time and go back to the past and have a do-over where I could showcase more courage, more confidence. And I'm so sorry about that I didn't have the power to be more vulnerable in that moment. I can't feel your love anymore. Things have changed, or they feel like things have changed permanently in your situation. Again, that can be a mirrored situation for them too. Things have changed for them, but they're really focused on you. It says, I'm a smug son of a bee, the 9 of Cups. And that's how they would feel if they could actually have your love. I feel like they would feel very smug. It also talks about too their worry about their position, the gossip that we saw with the 3 of Cups reversed, worried about other people's opinions taking a toll on you or this connection or them. There's also this sense here with the 9s of being sort of so close to that point of celebration. You know, the 9s being this last-ditch effort at independence before we hit that point of celebration, or, you know, sometimes with the 10 of Swords, release. It's like I was so close and I never got to that point. I was so close yet so far away. Back of the deck says, will I get what I want? It did come out reversed, though, as I was holding the deck, talking about delays, setbacks. And they don't think that they're going to get what they want here. And they feel like the only logical step for them is to create perhaps new directions for themselves. Let's get a couple of message cards. What are they thinking the last time that they saw group number 3, please? What's going through their mind? I'm losing hope. And that's the problem with hope, is that like a light in a lantern, only we can hold it up there or we can snuff it out. We have to maintain it. I replay everything that happened in my mind, and that's not just, you know, about the last time they saw you, but they replay everything that happened in their mind in the past with you. We saw the Lover's energy earlier. They've gone over and over and over. I worry that this is all in my head and that I'm not supported and that you don't feel the same way. I am sick of no contact. It almost feels like they felt like they duped themselves, or they tricked themselves, or they're angry at themselves a bit here. I don't know how much longer I can do this. And the back of the deck says, I wish that I had been more honest with you in the past. And they don't know how much longer they can do this because they're so ripe with insecurity and uncertainty about the future of this connection. And they feel they don't know what steps to take moving forward. So they do wonder if they should take new directions in this connection. Let's get a charm bowl for you, pile number 3. A charm bowl, please, for pile 3. What does this person wish they could have said the last time that they saw pile number 3? They wish that they could have told you how sorry they are. They wish that they could have talked to you about their regrets and about how connected they feel and about how much they regret not taking advantage of doorways and opportunities with you in the past. And how they recognize, or at least they say they recognize, they've had epiphanies since that time. And that if they were given the chance again, they would never repeat those mistakes, but they also understand that there may not be a place right now for them and you. And that if there's not a place right now, the logical next step for them is to release and to try to find joy somewhere else. There's also this sense of like, it's not fair. Things aren't fair the way that everything is right now. And there could be even a physical position in place that, or a position that we hold that keeps us at bay or keeps us from being able to see the light in this connection. But they would definitely tell you that they've seen the light now, and that they do hope that you're happy as well. That's coming through. They hope that you're happy in the life path that you've taken and chosen. And that's not just, that's truth. Like, that's genuine. Sorry, it's garbage day. I'm sure you can hear that. We have here the Degas rune here. A dawn rune about insights and breakthroughs, epiphanies that they have had here. First of all, about the uniqueness of the connection. Here's the unicorn, but also the fact that they have dug their own grave here with you. They've dug themselves a deeper pit when it comes to you and their connection. We have H, L, and S. I just heard high school. You may have known this person in high school. We also have here the direction arrow and the space between. So there may be a big separation between the two of you, either distance or time-wise. We do have the mermaid, which is a siren, somebody who lures me out of my position or who is a temptation to me. And sometimes that temptation can be to my detriment, lures sailors to their death. We do have here the Pegasus in flight. I think about the chariot energy, talks about movement, the desire for movement, the desire to move forward as well, because they're suffering in some of their energy. It's not like they're suffering with the realizations that they feel like there could be no place for the two of you at this time. The Wheel of Fortune is talking about fate and destiny. And we have the Four of Pentacles. So there could be a concern for the home, something I built up for myself. It's also talking about somebody who is proud of what they've built. And it speaks to perhaps the ego that tricks us and lures us into not speaking our truths when we have the opportunity and when doorways are wide open for us. All right, group number 3, that is what I have for you today. I hope that it resonated with you. And if it did, I would love to hear your story down below in the comment section. And I would love for you to subscribe to this channel and hit your notification bell. And join our family here if you haven't done so already. And if you do drop me a comment, be sure to hit your notification bell so that I can respond to you if you're chosen the winner of the free reading. You can also check out my links below for Etsy for a personal reading or for Instagram. But I really hope that you come back here for another day at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope that you have a beautiful day.